Okay, lads. Let's take on some undead. But before we do, Spunkmeyer, my Australian friend, if you're watching this, I just had the pleasure of watching the third one-day international between the South African and Australian cricket teams. And good game. Good series. Come on, the Proteas. I'll take any victory against Australia we can ever get. Long history of getting traumatized by Australia. Alright, hold the line, boys. Let the enemy come forward. This is great. These bushes in the way is going to make it easier for us to tie up as many of these things as possible. The Boghouse and Exiled Pariah are likely to be in for a bit of a rough time. I wonder if I don't go there and there. Well, I'm certainly not going to go in those squares because we just got barfed on. Oh yes, that's exactly the weapon we wanted. Key here is to get stuck in to the legionaries as quick as possible, and don't stand in the barf cloud. I could actually switch it up to a long axe and stay in the middle of the formation. I think that's what I'm going to do. So Alsteer is going to go to this position, which means that Boghouse goes to that position. So Bananafant is fine here. We're going to keep moving and avoiding the fart cloud whenever possible. So actually that wasn't smart. That means I give up the high ground there. Unless our lads can act before... Oh, you serious? I can't attack him? Oh, whatever. Let's just start working on a shield break. See, I want to move in here and attack, but then if I go here on the next turn I can get a split off and hit both of them. No! What? 91, missed. Feck. Uh, 76. I wonder if I could show you what the dodge chances were. I'd appreciate a mod along those lines. Like, for example, if I select Lavitsmear and then indicate where I want to move, it should recognize that they're going to take opportunity attacks and tell me what the percentage chances are. That would be super useful. 44, 39... 71 if I attack directly, 66 if I swing. But the 49% there, I don't think is worth it. For a lot of my lads, I can single attack. I can single attack and indom for 2 or 3 turns. That's surprising. I didn't expect the priest to cast the fear. I was expecting him to just keep puking on us. Very interesting. I'll move, go there, get ready to start attacking there. No point in whipping any of these nerds. I can't believe I didn't give Boghouse his cleaver. That was a silly mistake. Nice shield, nerd. No! So, Alex Nesterov has attacked twice, and he's missed a 95 and an 85. It's not his day. Okay, starting to make some progress. And you see what a big difference it makes when you have shields up at the front line. In battles past where I've had these guys who are, you know, technically built as two-handed lads, that's great that they're two-handed guys, but, you know, you miss a couple of shield attacks and then they end up dying. So this leads into one of the big lessons from this playthrough for me, which I'm going to incorporate into my next build. I still like these 7 up front, 5 at the back setup. However, I won't again. How's that only 29% to attack? It was 77 last time. Oh, 71. Sake. So, next playthrough of these 7 front lads, they won't all 7 of them be two-handed users. 2 of them will be dedicated tanks. I mean, there's occasions where you want all 7 using two-handed weapons, but those are like when you're fighting massed zombies, and massed zombies is not one of the bigger threats. It's the big threat fights where you need those 2 tanks for the survivability. The only really big decision for me with my next warband is what weapon specialization to give the tanks. I mean, spear is probably the most common suggestion for a tank because you're not going to be putting very much. What's up, sucker? You're not going to be putting very much in the way of melee skill points into your tanks. So at least if you're using a spear, you have the best chance of hitting your target. However, you can make a decent argument for giving your tank lads flails to get past shields and they can, you know, do damage that way. But I've been linked towards axes these days because, like, if someone has crap melee skill, okay, it's disappointing. They're very unlikely to hit their axe attacks. But if they are using the shield break ability, their melee skill is irrelevant. And they are facilitating your other guys. Whoa, didn't even notice he was there. Whoops. But ultimately, I think what I'm going to try with my tanks in the next playthrough is making them sword masters. Because I think that I might return to having shield breakers, which is specialized long axe users in the back line. And then I want to be able to use riposte on my tanks. Specifically, my ambition is to get a light armor using iron lungs, high fatigue, high initiative, dodge tank. A lad who's just impossible to hit. And then the iron lungs will let him remain fatigue neutral. So he continues to get the bonus from dodge. Shot. Shields on these things have kind of ruined us, like for both of the sides of the combatants here. For the enemies and for us, the presence of shields has been the deciding factor. Good dodge, Goliath. Owie! That's going to be an issue. Oh, he recovered. Wonderful. Oh, you... Oh, fucking having a laugh. Didn't even see that. Fuck it, MK, you'll be fine. Oof, give me that war scythe. Fuck, I gotta remember to give one of my cleaver users a wooden stick. So that we can disable and get that weapon. Why don't we just... Oh, really? I can't even get Alex Nesterov there. Resisted. Good. Blocked. Excellent. But you feel how good it feels just to be able to break a shield and just crunch through the enemy. It reminds me of my peasant offline playthrough I had where all 9 of them on the front line, all of them just had axes and axe specialization, and you would just break shields and just roll straight through whatever you're fighting against. And if some of them happen to have good melee skill, you know, axes are not to be messed with. They are dangerous weapons. Nice base damage. I feel like the Warhammer is the undisputed king of armor destruction. That's pretty clear. And the sword is the undisputed king of hitting unarmored targets. Then that makes the axe the middle ground between those two weapons. Oh, Jing. Good job, boys. Nice, good resist. I think breaking this lad's shields, anyway, I'm going to get a hit on him. Die. Ouchie. Pomulus is consistently a problem, but it's my fault for misleveling him. Nice armor, nerd. What a good turn that was. Destroyed a shield, killed an enemy. That's interesting, putting himself into melee range. So, bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. It did not pay off for him. Chet. Union Delmar. I don't like that this dude has been able to attack a couple times. He's been damaging that weapon. I need him to die. Fucking sharpish. You bastard. Please tell me he dropped that war scythe. Or that when we win here, we actually get a legendary item, and it's a legendary war scythe. I don't think war scythes do war scythes even come in legendary variations? I know regular bull hooks do, but I don't know if an undead war scythe comes in legendary. Because if it does, I would cream my pants if I get my hands on one. Kind of AoE damage you get out of that thing, can you imagine? Can that be removed? Horrified cannot be removed. Give me the... okay, I mean that's nice, but... Gruesome Scepter. 3555, that's base. 4010 is base. It's very light though. Look at that, -6, and weapon skills build up 2 less fatigue. A full metal mace with a short shaft and attached blades. The smith who forged this weapon certainly knew what he was doing. So that would just be useful for a mace specialist, of which we don't have any, who has fatigue issues. 2 gold coins and an ornate tome. Still good. Are there any other undead places in the area? I can't stress enough how much I want those war scythes. Like Adventure's End, I'm not going to have that fight in a swamp. I mean, fuck that. Brigands, goblins, barbarians, undead. Let's go check that one out. After we have trained Alex Nesterov. Any level ups? No level ups. Ooh, if we're lucky, this will be a patrol mission. 720, nice, good payday that. 764, it paid nicely as well. Any wooden sticks? No, but let's take the 2 bludgeons. And then these lads, instead of daggers, should just use the bludgeons for specific enemies. For enemies that are carrying weapons that we want to get our hands on. Right, let's see. Ammo's good, tools are not good, food is not good. I never feel like I have enough inventory space. Let's go see what we can do with all this parched skin that we were able to get our hands on. And we'll keep checking for legendary bows. No luck. Does that bleed us? Yep, this has been going for a while. 900 days. It's almost tempting to buy the 4th bardiche. So all 4 of my axe lads can have bardiches. 3,000. We'll pick one up from the corpse of some unfortunate mercenary at some point. 35 for 3 battles. 25 for 5 battles. Bomb off the sub, my man.
Come with me to Camelot and join.
Welcome to Camelot. Destroy sharp blades. Ambush. Nope. Just gonna keep grinding. See, I was actually asked on the last stream, when am I going to go back to playing Iron Man? Honestly, I don't think I will go back to playing Iron Man. Just because... And I did play a lot of Iron Man, so... First of all, I don't feel like I have anything left to prove with playing Iron Man. And the thing about Iron Man is you have to be so fucking careful. And when things go wrong, it just takes so long to recover. For the time being, we'll just have these two keep their single weapons. Single-handed weapons. So if something goes wrong and you have a fight go against you, you have to spend who knows how many hundreds of days to recover from that. And from this playthrough, I wanted to be able to hit all of the late game crises and all the late game events. It is modded, correct. Exclamation mark BB mods. I'll get you the mod list. Although it's just Filthy Robots mods that he's using. Shout out to Filthy. Legend. Is it worth fighting this for the XP boost? I don't think so. It's not worth it. How many more tools? 20. We can fight at night. MK doesn't have to be a part of this fight. Nobel is the ranged lad whose lowest level he needs to fight. Right, let's get in there. I could wait until these undead come close enough and fight all of them together, but... 27, bunch of geists, but we have the high ground. It's over, Noctairs! I have the high ground! We're going to position our nerds here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe. So 4 would go there, and he can then split down there. Swing in a big circle. Actually, I worry about the height difference there. I could struggle. Evening Mobility. But as we've seen in these kind of fights before, as long as we can bring our whips to bear against the ghosts, there's not too much to worry about. Is this my first or second episode of Battle Brothers for the evening? Second, okay. Oh, I can't wait for Bannerlord. It's going to be great. Get that whole week off. I'm just going to play Bannerlord for 7 days. Hold the line, boys. Wait to see where the ghosts go. And Blazing Deserts DLC as well. That's going to be great. What I'm hoping is that I can do the 2 or 3 remaining late game things for this group of lads. We have to do... It's 3. We have to do Barbarian City, Kraken, and Black Monolith. Hold fast. That's a World War II RTS, isn't it? I remember one of you lads linked it in the Discord. That's another one of those games I put in the bucket of looks promising, but I just have far too many games to play. We are currently finishing up Darkest Dungeon. Then we got a lot of Bannerlord and Battle Brothers content coming. That's 3 playthroughs. I'll have to have a think about what else I want to play. Doomsday, well, the answer, as with almost any character all the time, is it depends. If you go to the wiki and look at the background spreadsheet, it'll show that the Disowned Nobles have bad resolve, but they have good melee defense and they have good melee skill. So on average, they're slightly above average. But as with my Disowned Noble here, I had to take a Fortified Mind perk. I can't whip down there, can I? If I go like this, I can probably whip. So I would say overall that a Disowned Noble can be amazing, but you would need to roll high on the key stats, which would be mental resistance. And we got a bit of a problem here. We can't get these ghosts into range of those whips there. The height difference is actually screwing us over here. It's one down, but I think he's still screaming. So I'm going to have to push forward before I can whip that one. 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles. Shit. Can only raise morale here on the next turn, so Goliath is probably going to break. Yes! Good shot. So no stars in fatigue, but 3 in health. Oh, how many stars is he overall? Because if he doesn't have stars in fatigue, and his base starting fatigue is probably going to be too low for you to make him a heavy armor user. So for me personally, unless that brother had quite high stars in melee defense, I would get rid of him, because if he doesn't have the fatigue for heavy armor and you have to build him light armor, he either has to have gigantic reserves of fatigue and initiative so that he can become dodgy. If not, he's gonna have survivability issues. Because I've had that problem with a bunch of my lads. This is day 900, but this is like probably the third iteration of a lot of the brothers. We've had to replace a bunch of them. Like Alex Nestrov is a good example. We had another different polearm guy who we had to get rid of because, like MK, who's one of our current polearm lads, he just wasn't survivable with light armor. So he has 2 in melee skill, 1 in melee defense. I'm guessing 2 in offense, 1 in defense, and health. You can maybe make him a passable light armor wearing backline polearm guy. But without the stars in fatigue, he can't be frontline, so he's not going to be suited for frontline duty. The only time I would have a light armor wearing brother on the front line is if I make him a shield specialist. So then between his high base defense and the extra defense from shield specialist, that's how he's going to be staying alive. So you see what the kind of shit you can do when you have someone with a shield. 58 defense. He just dodged 2 attacks and got himself in range for a ghost. 3 attacks dodged. Which reminds me of another thing that I want to make sure that I do in my next campaign, which is have a dagger specialist. In one of my recent offline campaigns, I had a dagger specialist, and I forgot how much fun they are and how incredible they are in the first 300 days. I mean, they are strong throughout the whole of the campaign, but you get the most benefit out of those dagger specialists early on. And dagger specialists can pretty much single-handedly win some fights for you. Like against a lot of brigand fights. You can be... Hell, I remember in my offline campaign, I ran into 2 big groups of brigand raiders. It was a weird setup. I had 4 axe specialists and 3 dagger specialists on the front line. And that was a group of brigand ruins. And then as I was about to attack it, a group of roaming brigands spawned right on me. So I was fighting against 54 brigands. My 12 guys against 54 brigands. And by turn 3 the fight was over. Because my axe guys come forward, break shields. So you have axe, dagger, axe, dagger, axe, dagger. Or the other way around, yeah. Axe, dagger, axe, dagger, axe, dagger, axe. Axe guys break the shields. Dagger guys go stab, stab, stab. And by turn 3, all 55 of the brigands had their morale shattered and they were running. So cool against brigands, and the morale shatter effect isn't as effective against actually dangerous enemies. But against those brigands, it was just fucking crazy. I did find that with my dagger specialists, I wasn't breaking the morale of greenskins the way I would like. It's still higher than normal weapons. But the nice thing about the dagger lads is you're always using pierce armor, so there's no need to take fearsome. But be prepared with your dagger guys to be able to attack, 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 attack once, recover. So only every second turn can they attack 3 times. No, I missed. Damn it. Nobel, the throwing specialist, is okay, but he's not as good as I was hoping. Off with his head. Never got past day 100. Wow, dude. Just stick with it. For someone who's never got past day 100, my advice would be... Sorry if you didn't ask my advice, but if you wanted it... don't be afraid or feel bad about save scumming. Just save scum shamelessly. There's nothing wrong with save scumming when you're learning the game. For me, the biggest thing about keeping brothers alive is knowing the relative power levels of your brothers against whatever enemy they might be facing. Oh, hello, zombie. I didn't see you there. So, for example, when the Barbarians DLC came out, I had this group of lads. Quite powerful, but I just ran into a group of like 15 Chosen, having no point of reference for how powerful the Chosen were. And my attitude was, let's just fight them and see what happens. As it happened, we got utterly steamrolled, but that's fine. That's just a data point. Knowing, okay, at that level of my guy's strength, you can't take on Chosen, so take them on later. That type of stuff. And you just got to know that about every single enemy type at every point of the game against your brother's strength. And my other tip, if you're a new player, watch Filthy Robots guides, and I've got a couple of guides on my channel, but Filthy's are better. Watch them both. Dude, you got to get the DLC, man. If you can't afford it, fair enough. Obviously, do your thing, but we got to support these developers. We love these guys. Overhope Studios. You got to reward good developer practices. These guys are amazing. You know, they keep releasing great DLC. It's proper DLC. They don't do loot boxes and shit like that. Love these guys. Ah! What was the percentage for a legendary in this ruin? I think it was 20-odd%. So we'll be super lucky to get anything, but hey. For the foreseeable future, we're just going to be running around clearing out ruins, so hopefully our legendaries count will go up. What do we get? Nothing really of value. Except for the precious experience on Alex Nesterov. Let's look at his numbers. 81 melee skill at level 9, so he's not going to be a superstar by any means. But 76 fatigue with that nice armor at level 9. He'll have 80 odd fatigue. He'll be able to use a war scythe. The nice thing about the polearm boys is that they get the extra plus chance to hit. So you can offset the less than stellar melee skill on a bunch of them. What are they going to offer us for that loot? 295? Yeah, fine, I'll take that. Archers is always a challenge. Almost every campaign has a phase which is like first 100 to 150 days, just getting any 12 bodies you can on the field, get them leveled, get them basic gear, the basic mail. Then, well, in answer to your question, who makes good hunters? Look at that guy. Look at that right there. Look at the state of that absolute filth. 112. Horsed. As it happens, I got lucky. He had perfect star distribution. He's only a 5-star brother, which is just above average. The holy grail of archers would be almost exactly what I've got here. Obviously 3 stars in melee skill, 3 stars in melee defense, maybe you don't need. Range defense, maybe you don't need. 40 range defense is probably more than he needs. But because for your archers, if you build them with fancy feet, the only real threat to them should be other enemy archers. And other enemy archers, even a master archer shooting behind cover with 40 range defense is going to struggle. But it's all about the range skill and the fatigue. Tiny is an amazing bonus for an archer as well, because it's less melee damage, but who cares? It's just 10 extra defense points. Paranoid is nice as well, it's even more defense. The less initiative is unfortunate, because it means you're less likely to use Overwhelm. But I don't tend to use Overwhelm on my archer as well. But the number one, so in order of preference for archers, you want hunters, witch hunters, and poachers. Poachers is just, it's the poor man's hunter. What you need to do when you start analyzing how good brothers are, you need to keep the wiki open on one page, and under skills there's a talents page which shows the little table for each of the various brothers' stats. So you can, it says, okay, so for no stars, on average you'll roll between 0 and 3. 1 stars, 1 and 3. 2 stars, 2 and 3. 3 stars, 3 and 4. And then, so let's say like Levitsmere started with, let's for argument's sake, he started with 50 in melee skill. And I know he has 1 star, so I know he'll roll on average 28. So 50 plus 28 is 78. Let's call it 31 if you take gifted. So 31 plus 50 is 81. So that's how you know on average what you can expect that brother to have at level 11. You'll notice he's level 21 though, so he's got a lot more. And well, you know what, funny, I used to take anticipation on my archers, but I don't think it's worth it. I mean, I have all of my archers, none of them have anticipation. I think with 20 range defense and nimble, you're going to be fine. Honestly, you're going to be fine. Nimble stops you from getting one shot by the crossbow bolts to the head, and the way the AI targets who to hit with the enemy archers won't try to hit your archers because the chance to hit them will be so low. So the enemy will just try hit someone on the front line instead. And your guys on the front line will be wearing super heavy armor, so their arrows won't mean anything. So, I mean, I'm 900 days in. I'm so far past the point where enemy archers are a concern. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. Oh, runes and sigils, yes please. Don't get me wrong. A tier 3 crossbow bolt to the face can still be bad news for anyone. Tracks, statuette, no. But it's enemy melee lads that are the problem. I've seen no one around here. Was he a farmer? Welcome. Let's take a look. Ooh. Swift. So here's a good example. I am in the market for a second heavy armor polearm user. Let's go through the process of analyzing whether Wildrick here would be a good polearm user. So in his favor, he's got Bloodthirsty, which is great, so he's going to decapitate a lot. He's got Swift, which adds range defense, that's nice. Now, let me just go screen capture, and I will open up my Battle Brothers, Stobbie's builds. Here's my builds. Display one, order, move to top. Just get this right here. Sorry, lads, hang on. So I've got all my various builds. This is available on my Discord, by the way. But here, this table at the bottom is the key thing we're looking at. So let's take a look at what is his melee skill likely to be. Hang on a second, this is no good. Technical difficulty. Just please stand by while we have technical difficulty. No. There you go. Okay, right. So melee skill, 53 starting with 2 stars. So we go melee skill, 2 stars. He's going to roll 3 every single level. 10 level up, so you add 30 to that, making it 83. Plus an extra 3 if you take gifted. So 86, which is baseline. He's good enough for a polearm user, which I want to use him for. The point in range skill is unfortunately a waste. The star in melee defense is wonderful. Melee defense, 1 star, 2 to 3. So 2.5, so call it 25 on average, so 25 melee defense. But the key thing is whether he'll be able to use heavy armor. So 96 starting. Max fatigue, regular, 2 to 4, so call it 30. So 124. Oof. 124 at level 11. So let's take Wilderic here as the example. Assuming he's wearing something like this, he will need 30 plus, so 47 fatigue. I believe these numbers reflect the brawny value. What does not? So 37. Okay, so it was one. Let's call it for argument's sake 130. And what was it? 30 plus. So let's call it 50. So 130 fatigue at level 11 minus 50 for his armor is 80 fatigue. Not bad. Not including the extra reduction from brawny. So instead of 50, it'll be 40. So 130 minus 40 gives him 90 fatigue. And 69 hit points is great. We just got to level up a few times, get up to like 70 odd. Wilderic, you're hired. Awesome. Okay, this means we can eventually retire MK, but we need to power level Wilderic. And he's going to be a heavy polearm user. I'm going to have to play a lot offline just to power level him for the next couple episodes. Let's go to the name list and pick a viewer submitted name that we can give him. This text, name submission. Next in line for getting their name added is Agrak Gur. Welcome, Agrak Gur. Good luck. I'm sure you won't die terribly. This means we have to pay to retire MK. I think we have the money for that. Yeah, let's go ahead and retire MK. Yeah, his fatigue is not great, but much like Alex, like look, a big part of my decision to keep him is the fact that he's a polearm, because the polearm guys are a little less demanding. As you see with Alex Nesterov here, he was also a farmer, I believe. We were able to take Fortified Mind. We skipped fast adaptation, which you arguably don't need for a polearm user anyway. So let's take a look here at Alex Nesterov, who is level 9, by the way. He's at 125 at 9. So as you can see, yeah, we got 110 starting. He'll be fine. He'll be totally fine. Yeah, he'll be grand. He'll be grand. He'll be grand. Welcome, Agrak. He'll be totally fine. He flies. I should probably bath this year. Okay, let's just give him nice heavy armor and spare polearm. 36, that's fine. As long as he can attack every turn. Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be grand. I can't believe I sold my war scythes. What was I thinking? I'm telling you, with this sort of setup, let's just take a look at these lads, right? And assume that everyone's leveled up, and give these guys war scythes plus a bullhook in reserve, and you have this sort of setup. Because I'm just trying to imagine what my tactics are going to look like for the Black Monolith. Boghus and Exiled Pariah will keep the shields and the whips to disarm just to slow the lads down. We will have Pumulus and Hawk using the Bardishas. Lavitsmere and Goliath will be swinging their warhammers in big arcs. Then you'll have Sinrig and Banana Fint either running around the flanks to try get a hold of the priests, or just killing whatever comes into the gap and then rotating out anyone who gets into trouble. All the while, Alex Nesterov and Agrak Gur will be fully leveled. They'll have war scythes. They'll be swinging into those gaps there. And then we should be able to have most of the enemy funnel to our outside flanks. But between the usage of Shatter and Reap, we should be able to back ourselves to take down huge amounts of enemies. Just, it would have been better technically if these Great Axe lads were great sword users, and you can create a little kill zone here with two big, you know, swings. But we need the axes for shield breaking. So just keep that in mind. That's what we're working towards when we go for the Black Monolith. But the focus now is on getting Agrak Gur leveled up. MK, my friend, let's send you off in style. You've been with the company for 785 days. Look at this. A gambler. I never thought I'd hire a gambler, but he had pretty damn good stat distribution, and he more than served his purpose. He was cheap, cost him nothing. He did a lot of good work for us. Where's his stats here? 201 kills in 119 battles. That's a 1.5 kill ratio almost, which is not fucking bad for a gambler at all. The most powerful opponent he vanquished was the Manhunter, so I forget what that was. I think that was a legendary goblin. So, MK, my friend, F's in chat for MK. Enjoy your retirement, my friend. You've earned it. Take your pay. Yeah, it hurts. It really hurts, but MK is not exactly what the new guy is going to be. I think the new guy is going to be better. So the new guy, Agrak, won't be that much better in terms of melee skill and melee defense. But his survivability, to my understanding, is going to be so much better because he's going to be in heavy armor. Spits and Pills, good evening. I think Agrak has much more potential. Hi, Keith. Thank you for following. So here's a question. Okay, this now is the lads. It's taken me 904 days to get what I've wanted, which is a good bannerman with a backup. Just never mind the fact that I misleveled their melee defense, but the bannermen do have fancy feet, so they can get away if they need to. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frontline lads with frontline backups. We have 2 polearm users, and we have 4 archers. So we can have a melee heavy setup like this, or we can have a ranged heavy setup like that. It's taken me 900 days to get the right setup. All right. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier. The thing, I think I might be done with Iron Man for the time being. I have done plenty of Iron Man. I don't feel like I have anything to prove with Iron Man. 29, good. You can still attack every turn. The thing is just with Iron Man, it's just such a bummer recovering from Iron Man. You have a fight, even if you come out with 1 or 2 losses, you know, it takes 200 to 300 days to replace a brother. I'm very glad that I did a bunch of Iron Man runs. I think I did 2 or 3 seasons, all of Iron Man. I need more tools. Anyway, let's go clear out, retreat of the Harvester, hideout of the Insane Master, and hideout of the Death Dealer. So the 2 new guys, I forgot to go give training to Agrak. Let's go do that real quick. For the foreseeable future, we're just going to be doing this. We're just going to be hitting the training hall and grinding up the two new lads. If we are able to fight some unhold, 48, 68, 88, 108. If we're able to get our hands on some unhold, we will kill the unhold and then go hand in the skins. Ooh, undead. Let's go do that one. Not Black Monolith yet. It's going to take a few 100 days because I want to have these lads. This group here. This is going to be our Black Monolith setup. But as you can see, we have a level 1 here. Right. Engage undead protocol. Whips, boys. Whip those naughty undead scamps. Okay, 50 minutes. Oh god, I'm spoiling your YouTube, lads. Take a little break. When we come back, more undead grinding.